My name is Mike Rash. Today we'll be doing a visual inspection, checking the safety critical items on the school bus. You'll be allowed to use a checklist while doing your test, and you may check off items as you have completed them, but no additional markings or writing may be placed on this list. As you do the inspection, you must name each item, point to or touch the item, fully explain what you're inspecting each safety critical item for. We'll begin the test with the in-vehicle engine start procedure. Alright, we'll be doing the in-vehicle engine start procedure. First thing we'll check is our emergency equipment. We should have 3 red reflective triangles, fully charged, mounted fire extinguisher, spare fuses or breakers, whichever your bus is equipped with. We will crank up our vehicle. We'll turn our vehicle on. Our ABS light should go on and off. And we will build the air pressure up to governor cutoff. First thing we'll be doing is our air brake check. Once we reach governor cutoff, we'll say the governor cutoff pressure when it purges. We'll go on and check for air leaks. We'll check our low air warning device. We'll state when the low air warning device activates, and then we'll check to make sure that our brakes close, and we'll state that pressure when the brakes actually close. There's our governor cutoff, and governor cutoff is at 120 pounds. We must state the pressure that the governor cuts off at. Next, we will shut our engine off. Turn our key to the on position so our gauges work. We will release our parking brake. We'll let the gauge stabilize. We're stabilized 90 pounds. We will hold the foot brake. We'll start our minute, and we cannot lose more than 3 pounds in the 1 minute. We have our window open. We're also listening for leaks, watching our gauge, make sure we do not lose more than 3 pounds in 1 minute. There's our 1 minute. We did not lose any pressure. We did not lose our 3 pounds in the 1 minute. Next, we'll check our low air warning device. Our low air warning device should come on before the air gauge reaches 55 pounds. What we'll do is we'll fan our brake pedal to release the air. We will state the pressure when our low air warning device activates. Lower warning device came on a little above 60 pounds. Next thing we'll do is we will check to make sure that our brakes close and that our parking brake actually pops out. That should occur between 20 and 45 pounds. We will fan the brake pedal and actually state the pressure when the parking brake pops out. Parking brake popped out approximately 20 pounds. Next, we'll crank our vehicle and do our parking brake check. Listening for the purge. Just purged. We will check our parking brake. We will have our parking brake applied. We'll put our transmission in drive and try to pull against our parking brake. Vehicle does not move. Tells us the parking brake is working properly. Put our vehicle back in neutral. Next we will check our service brake. What we'll do is we'll release the parking brake, put our vehicle in drive, pull forward approximately 5 miles an hour, shadow the wheel, make sure that our wheel doesn't pull left or right when we do stop the vehicle. So we'll release our parking brake, put our vehicle in drive, pull forward approximately 5 miles an hour. We'll stop. Steering wheel did not pull left or right. That lets us know that our service brake is working properly. Next we'll check our lighting indicators on our dash. First we'll check our left indicator light, check our right indicator light, check our four-ways, check our high beam light indicator. We'll turn our lights on. High beam light indicator should turn on. Alright, next we'll check our heater and defroster. We have a heat pump that we turn on for the heat. We'll turn our heater on and make sure our hot air is blowing. Next we'll check the defroster. Turn our defroster on. Make sure our defroster is blowing on the windshield. Next we'll check our horn. Make sure our horn works properly. Next we'll check our windshield. Our windshield should be clean, no cracks, no aftermarket stickers. We'll check our monitoring devices, the mirrors. We'll check all our mirrors. They should all be in a proper adjustment. They should be clean. We'll check our wipers. We'll check our wipers. The arms should be securely mounted, not bent or broke. Wiper blades should be securely mounted, not bent or broke. They should work properly. And also squirt fluid on the windshield. That concludes the engine start items. Next we'll go on to and inspect the passenger and school bus items that are inside the vehicle. And we'll inspect the in-vehicle items on our bus. Our student mirror, clean, adjusted properly. If we have any cameras should be clean, securely mounted, working properly, and adjusted properly. The display for the cameras should be working properly. We should have a body fluid kit, should be securely mounted. Tag should be in place. If the tag is missing, might indicate there's missing items in your body fluid kit. Also should have a first aid kit, should be securely mounted. Tag should be in place. The tag is not in place, may indicate you're missing items in your first aid kit. We'll inspect our entryway. We'll inspect our door. Door should open and close properly. Our light should work. Our steps should be clean, securely mounted. No trip hazards on our steps. Our handrails should be securely mounted, not bent or broke. Next we'll inspect the seats of our bus. All our frames should be securely mounted, not bent or broke. Our seats should be securely mounted to the frames, not ripped or torn. We'll also inspect our front monitoring device, our mirror. Should be securely mounted. Brace is not bent or broke. All my bolts are tight. My mirror itself clean and not cracked. We'll inspect our emergency exits. They should be labeled. We have 3 on each side. We have 2 in the roof, 1 in the back. Each one should be labeled. They should be able to open and close from the inside and the outside. And we must demonstrate that one of them operates. We'll turn our key on. We'll actually be listening for the alarm when our door opens. And turns off when the door is closed. Strobe light indicator. If you have your strobe lights on, indicator light should come on. This bus does not have an indicator light for the strobe lights. Also, strobe light should be working properly on top of my vehicle. When you activate your yellow indicator lights blinking. Student light should be working in the front. Student light should be working properly on the rear of my vehicle. And for the red indicator light is blinking. Student arm should be securely mounted. Come out all the way when activated, and also go all the way in when it's deactivated. Red student light should be working in the front. And my red student light should be working properly on the rear of my vehicle. Stop arms should be fully extended out when they're activated. Should be securely mounted. Should also go all the way in when they're deactivated. Check our headlights. Make sure they work properly. Check the high beams. Make sure that they work properly. We'll check our clearance lights. They should work on each side. Should work on top. Check our clearance light on the side of our vehicle. In the middle, also on top. They should work properly. Check the operation of our clearance lights on the rear of our vehicle. All my clearance lights should work properly on the rear of my vehicle. Check our clearance lights on the right side of our vehicle. They should be working on the top and on the center. Next, we'll do our directional lights and our four-ways. Check our right turn signal. It should be working properly on the front. Check our right turn signal on the right side of our vehicle. Should be working, and also right turn signal on the rear of our vehicle. Next, we'll check our left turn signal. Check our left turn signal on the front of the vehicle. Should be working properly. Check our left turn signal on the left side of our vehicle. Should work properly. Also check our left turn signal on the rear of the vehicle. Next, we'll check our four-way hazard lights. Check our four-way hazard lights on the front of the vehicle. On the left side of our vehicle, the rear of our vehicle, and also the right side of our vehicle.
Doing the brake lights.
Next item on the checklist is the front of the vehicle and the engine compartment. We'll check our lenses, make sure our headlight lenses are clean, not cracked, not missing. Our side turn signal lights are clean, not cracked, proper color, amber, not missing. Clearance lights are clean, not cracked, not missing, proper color, amber. We'll look underneath our vehicle, make sure there's no puddles. Then we'll go to the engine compartment. We'll inspect our safety critical items on our engine compartment. We'll inspect the right side of the engine and the transmission. We'll inspect for any excessive leaks. We'll inspect all our hoses on the right side of our engine. Make sure they're not kinked, cut, swollen. We'll inspect any air lines we have on the right side of our motor. Make sure they're not pinched or cut. We'll listen for air leaks. We have our coolant. We'll make sure it's between hot and cold. Next, we'll go on to the left side of our engine. We'll inspect the left side of our engine for any excessive leaks on our engine and transmission. We'll inspect our hoses on the left side of our engine. Make sure they're not kinked, cut, swollen, leaking, securely mounted. Inspect our air lines. Make sure they're not kinked, cut, swollen. Fittings are secure. We'll also listen for air leaks. We'll inspect our power steering fluid. We pull our dipstick out, make sure it's between add and full. We'll also inspect our engine oil. We'll pull the dipstick out, make sure it's between add and full. From here, we'll inspect our steering components. We'll inspect our steering all the way down to our steering box. Make sure it's straight, securely mounted, not bent or broke. We'll inspect our steering hoses. Make sure they're securely mounted, not bent or broke, not kinked or swollen, not leaking. We'll inspect our steering box. Make sure it's securely mounted, not leaking. We'll inspect our steering linkage. Make sure it's not bent or broke. Castle nuts and cotter pins are in place. They're not missing. Make sure our sockets are not worn. They're not loose. Next, we'll inspect the right side axle. Next, we'll inspect the right axle. Our safety critical items, we'll start with the spring mounts. Should not be cracked or broken. Should be securely mounted. We must inspect the front spring mount. Also inspect the rear spring mount. Make sure it's securely mounted, not bent or broke. We'll inspect our leaf springs. They should all be in alignment. They should not be cracked or broken. There should be none missing. We'll inspect our shock absorber. Make sure it's securely mounted, not bent or broke, also not leaking. Then we'll inspect our brake parts. Our brake hose should not be kinked or cut, should be securely mounted, should not be leaking. Air hose must be able to supply air. And we'll go to our brake drums and shoes. We'll make sure there's no grease or fluid, no contaminants on our brake drums, brake shoes. From here, we'll go and check the wheel parts. We'll check our tire. Our tread should be evenly worn, no flat spots. We'll check our tread depth. Make sure we have a minimum of 4/32 tread depth. I would need to check that with a tire tread depth gauge. There's no split, cuts, bubbles on the side of my tire. check my valve stem, make sure it's straight, not leaking with a cap. Valve stem must be accessible. I will check my tire pressure with the tire pressure air gauge. I will check my rim, make sure my rim is not bent, broken, or have any aftermarket welds. Also, my rim has no distorted lug nut holes. My lug nuts, there should be none missing. They should all be tight. There should be no rust trail signs indicating a loose lug nut or any shiny threads indicating a loose lug nut. Also, all my studs are straight, not broken or missing. Also, for our suspension, we have to check, make sure our vehicle is level from front to back. We also need to check to make sure our vehicle is level from side to side. That concludes the front axle. Next, we'll go to the side of the vehicle. Next, we'll inspect the right side of our vehicle. Any items that are unique to the other side of the vehicle, we will have to inspect those. First, we'll inspect our lenses on the right side of our vehicle. Make sure they're all clean, not cracked, proper color, and not missing. We'll inspect our clearance lights. Should be clean, not cracked, not missing. They should be amber on the front, red in the rear. Our lights on the side, also clean, not cracked, and not missing. Proper color amber. Also, our reflectors on the side of our vehicle should be clean, not cracked, proper color, amber in the front, red in the rear, and not missing. Next, we'll inspect our monitoring devices. Our mirrors, we'll make sure they're securely mounted. The arms aren't bent or broke. The braces aren't bent or broke. My mirror is clean, not cracked. We'll inspect our fuel tank. My cap should be secure, should not be leaking. We'll look at our fuel tank, make sure it's securely mounted, not leaking, and the hose for the fuel line should also be secure and not leaking. We'll check our frame, should be straight, no aftermarket holes, no aftermarket welds, no cracks. We'll check our cross members, they should be straight, not cracked. We'll also check the bottom of our floor, make sure there's no holes or cracks in the bottom of the floor of our vehicle. We have a unique item on the left side of our vehicle, which is our battery. Battery door should open and close, should be securely mounted. Our batteries should be securely mounted. Our cables should not be split or cut. They should be secured to the battery post. No excessive corrosion on our batteries. Any lockdowns should be in place. From here, we'll go to the rear of the vehicle. We'll inspect the rear of our vehicle. Got to inspect our lenses. Make sure they're all clean, not cracked. Proper color, not missing. Clearance lights, clean, not cracked. Proper color red, not missing. We'll inspect our reflectors. Clean, not cracked. Red in color, not missing. That concludes the vehicle inspection of the safety critical items on a school bus.